Alright, just doing a double check here, making sure my volume is good, making sure chat is good as well. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, time for some more of that My Hero Academia action. Actually, you know what? This was kind of pushed off to the side here, so let me just give it just a little bit more room. Just a little bit more room. So that way, when chat is right there off the side, it has that whole wall that it can mess with. I wound up cutting my hand at church earlier this morning, so it kind of stings just a little bit. So if I look over at it from time to time, it's because it's been hurting for about a minute now. I need to put some Neosporin on it. But, ladies and gentlemen, time to move on to the next chapter. You guys know how this goes down. It tends to. Hey, Michael, what's going on? These tend to not be as long as my One Piece streams. We just go through the chapter of My Hero, we talk about it, and then I can go ahead and move on to the next thing I got to do today. There's a lot of things I got to do today, including the next One Piece episode, but also some other things later during today as well. Hope you all are having a fantastic Valentine's Day, whether you're with your loved one, family, or just chilling by yourself. That's fine just as well. Learn to love yourself so you can love somebody else even more when that time comes. If that's what you're seeking after. Just saying. But hope y'all enjoy yourselves while you're here. Time to move on to the next chapter because the last chapter of My Hero Academia ended with Rei, the wife. The chat is missing on the side. Thank you, Karma. Thank you. Here's the thing. I just clicked it to make sure it was right there. And I was thinking, all right, chat's fine. It's fine. It's right there. But no. There it is. All right. Back to it. In the last chapter, it ended with Rei meeting in the hospital room along with Natsu, Fuyumi, and Shoto to see Endeavor. And she surprises him by saying that, hey, we need to talk about our family and our son Toya. So now, right here, it seems that we might be going through a flashback chapter of when Rei first met Endeavor for the very first time. So, going on from here, it appears that this is the father of Rei, speaking to Endeavor. Why, we never dreamed that the great Endeavor, the man many say will be the next #1 would reach out to us. How fortunate! What an absolute honor! The Himura family was also once considered prestigious with a long and storied history. So it's only fitting that a top hero such as yourself would take a Himura woman as your bride. Kitty Bree, welcome! Hope you're having a fantastic Valentine's Day. So it's only fitting that a top hero such as yourself would take a Himura woman as your bride. She was a lot like Ice herself. Hold on. Hit next on that. And it shows Endeavor walking with Rei. She knew full well it was a quirk marriage from the start, but she said she'd do it for her family's sake. And then Rei stops, and Endeavor notices. And then Endeavor says, you like flowers, huh? And this is Endeavor when he's younger, so a bit less of a gruff voice. You like flowers, huh? Yes. So pretty. Strong, but prone to melting away at the slightest touch. And now we're in the present day. Rei, are you really okay? Okay? No, I'm not. That's why I'm here. Chapter 301, The Wrong Way to Put Out a Fire, Part 1. Ooh, this is a two-parter. Okay. So this is the storyline of the Todoroki family mending its ways, it seems. Give me a sec. So cutting from Ray and Endeavor, we're now cutting to a mansion in the woods, and we're seeing Toya now. That's a lot of burning. Can't feel a thing, though. I know dear old dad ain't gonna die. He's tougher than that. Plus, even if he wants to say adios to this world, his position won't allow it. He'll have to make some kind of public statement pretty soon, too. Can't wait to see his pathetic mug. I've been waiting so darn long for this. NG Todoroki, Mom, Fuyumi, Natsu, and Shoto. Take a real good look at me. Into the depths of hell. And here's the funny thing. There's like a tear of blood coming from one of the scars on his eye, and it drips into the next panel, showing the house of Todoroki, it would look like. Back in time again. We're going back in time to more of the Todoroki household.
You got a day off, right? So you gotta do quirk training with me. Why won't you change your mind? Why'd you change your mind all of a sudden, huh?
Like I keep saying, it's for your own good. Oh, okay, so this must have been when Shoto was being born, and Toya was no longer the individual that Endeavor wanted to raise to surpass him, nor did he have two quirks with him like he was hoping. Like I keep saying, it's for your own good. And now we're cutting to a building where someone's talking. An unusual case, to be sure. Your son has inherited an even more powerful form of the fire-based quirk factor, but he takes after his mother physically, meaning he's not built to endure fire, but rather to withstand freezing temperatures. I have to say, attempting to create custom children is taboo in our quirk-based society, so I cannot advise it. And NG, Endeavor, is just thinking back to pretty much All Might and all his accolades he's got. Yes, he somehow saved 62 different towns and cities today. We'll never fall to villainy so long as All Might's around. You can surpass All Might, Toya. And then NG's just thinking back on this moment when he was seeing All Might on TV.
Listen, Fuyumi.
And I guess this is Toya when he was younger, speaking to him.
Listen, Fuyumi. Yeah, I got a little burn, but so what? I can take it. I know my own body better than anyone. But Toya, I don't like when you get hurt either.
And then he just glares at her.
What do you know anyway? A girl wouldn't get it. I'm worried, that's all. I already got it in my head that I gotta surpass the other guy. That's the only one who lit that fire under me.
And then later that night, apparently NG's been talking with Ray about something, but she says,
No, that would be too much. It's too cruel, especially now that Toya knows what you're hoping to achieve through the children.
No matter what I say, he comes home with fresh burns every day. He inherited that pig-headed stubbornness from me. That's the only way to make him wake up, since he'll never be the one to surpass. And he just stares at the television, glaring with eyes just veiny as he looks at All Might getting, accolades and praise. I wonder how strong Shoto and Dabi would be if they didn't have any drawbacks from using their quirks. The only thing holding back Shoto from using the full power of his fire quirk is the fact that his body takes after his mother, which means that it's not resistant to the flames. He inherited both of his parents' quirks, but he also inherited his mother's weakness to fire. So him using fire, he can't at the moment. At the moment, who knows? He could possibly cause it to evolve. Kind of like how Shigaraki did with his decay quirk. He could possibly make it evolve where his body can regulate the temperature in order for him to use the full output of his fire. But as of right now, he has his mother's weakness for fire. That's why he can't do that. But to think, the only thing holding him back is that weakness. If he didn't have that weakness, he would clearly surpass the amount of power that we've seen. Like, remember during the whole sports festival that they had, and he covered half of the stadium in a giant ice pillar? Picture a giant pillar of fire that same size, or a mixture of the two. Frozen or heat. Ooh, that would actually be a unique combo for Shoto. Hot ice shards. Like shards of ice, but it also has heat packed into it. So I don't know how that would actually work, since heat and cold don't exactly go together. But just imagining Shoto without any drawbacks from their quirks. Dabi's fire is clearly more a lot harder than Endeavor's. The only drawback is it's literally burning him alive whenever he sustains it for a long period of time. And even here, when he was a child, he just kept using his flames until it started to, burn all over his body until he looks like the way he looks now, like a walking strip of jerky. But the last thing Endeavor says is, "He inherited that pig-headed stubbornness from me. That's the only way to make him wake up, since he'll never be the one to surpass." And you can guess that he's talking about All Might. And then Rei can only look on with a horrified look to her. But then it's showing the kids growing up. I want to say that's Natsu. No, that doesn't. I want to say that's Natsu that Rei's holding in her arms. Then Toya's looking on. Then it shows Endeavor. Then it shows All Might. And then it shows Endeavor being more and more mad. And then it shows Rei looking over in the direction of where Toya is. And then we see Shoto. We see Shoto here, and he has a split color hair. And it's exactly what Endeavor was looking for. Like, he has that look in his eye. Like, finally, I have the child. And Rei's looking like, my baby. And then Toya can only look on with, like, you can tell from the artistry here that he has this empty look in his eye. It's no longer a look of amazement or happiness or anything. It's just like, yet another one who's going to get Dad's attention away from me. But then we're here in the winter, and it shows Toya just using his flame powers over and over and over and over and over again.
No, Dad. I can do it too. I can surpass him. See? Look how strong my flames are already.
And it shows multiple spots where he's set multiple posts on fire.
Look at me.
Literally trying his best to please his dad because of those expectations. No! Why won't you stop? You're covered in burns, and you still don't get it. Why? Toya, you have to look beyond all this. Play with Natsuo and Fuyumi. Make some friends at school. There's a whole other world besides the hero stuff. I know you understand that. Take my advice, and this'll all be a distant memory soon.
The kids at school all say they want to be heroes. I can't understand that. Because I got you for a father.
And it shows Toya, and his face is just covered in tears, and he's all like, why are you telling me not to be a hero? You're a hero, so why can't I be one? Endeavor's not really explaining to him that he has what he wants. He has the child with 2 quirks. And, well, he also kind of sees that it's kind of starting to slowly kill his son because of all the burns, and he wants him to stop. But Toya's got it in his head. He's got his dad's pig-headedness to keep going, even though it's, burning him alive. And as he's saying this, it looks like he's starting to heat up a little bit.
We have to cool him down. You lit these fires in me, Dad, and it's not going out. I can't just pretend it's not there. Look at me! Endeavor!
Yo, Toya tried to kill... Shoto when he was a baby. 'Cause he launches at him. He launches at Rei holding Shoto. Look at me, Endeavor! And then covered in flames, body burning, body singeing itself. He launches at Toya, and then it cuts to Rei, back to the present day. You don't get to claim you're hurting more than anyone, and you're not the only one who didn't really see him. Next chapter hits February 21st, which is going to be next week. So no chapter of One Piece next week, but a chapter of My Hero Academia. Okay, wow. So even at a young age, Toya really wanted to take out Shoto because Shoto took all the attention, and the thing is, Endeavor's to blame here. I know I was kind of being like hard on Natsuo in the last chapter, saying like your dad's trying to rectify things, but here you can clearly see before Endeavor saw all that he had built up starting to crumble down around him, this man really wanted to create an heir that could surpass All Might. Not create an heir because he wanted to have children, but because since he saw himself as not being able to surpass All Might, he wanted to create an heir that could surpass All Might himself. And because Toya didn't have what it takes, and because his drawbacks were just too dangerous for him to keep going and to keep training him, he saw that, you know what, Toya's not worth it, so I need to try again. And then when Shoto comes along... Hello, Jazz. When Shoto comes along, he sees that, okay, this is the one who's going to do it. This is the one who's going to surpass All Might. Toya started to notice over time that he got less and less attention from the father who was so gung-ho about helping him out and training him with his quirk, until it pretty much boiled up. Like kids saying that they all want to be heroes, and he says like, I don't understand why they all want to be heroes when I have you as a father. And like, let me go back to make sure I understand this. He's saying, Endeavor's telling him, take my advice and this will all be a distant memory soon. The kids all at school all say they want to be heroes. I can't understand that because I've got you for a father. And he's saying this, okay, so I understand the way he says this now. He's saying this, I can't understand why they want to be heroes when I have you, a hero as a father, telling me not to do this. This is Endeavor's fault. Yes, it is. This is definitely Endeavor's fault. So right here, he says that all the kids at school want to be heroes. I can't understand that because I have you for a father. Because of what you're doing and what you told me, I can't understand why they want to be heroes. Because of you, I can't understand why my schoolmates and kids in my class want to be heroes. Because of you. And it's this moment where Toya snaps and launches at Shoto. But we don't see what happens after that. We don't see what happens in that moment. We see him launching at Shoto, and then it cuts back to the present day where Rei's talking about like, hey, Endeavor, you don't get to talk about how you're the only one hurting. And you're not the only one who didn't really see him. So she's saying that not only did Endeavor not see Toya for the person that he was, but Rei didn't see him for the kid that he was growing up as well. Not paying attention that all the attention she was giving to all the rest of her kids and not Toya as much. And especially when it came to Shoto, Shoto was touted as the pride and joy. Seeing all that attention being on Shoto rather than Toya, who did everything he can in his power to meet the expectations that his father set, it pretty much came to this point where Toya pretty much wanted to kill the very thing that was taking the attention away from him. So we kind of see the trigger for why Toya wants to just ruin the lives of Endeavor and kill Shoto. And especially Shoto, because Shoto was the one who robbed pretty much all the attention away from Toya. And the thing was, Toya was so happy to train with his dad. And it started out well and fine. But it wasn't until Endeavor started to see the weaknesses in Toya that could inhibit him from actually being the number one superhero that he said, like, you know what, this is getting too dangerous for him. It's not worth killing him in order for him to be the guy, be the hero I'm grooming him. Because he was, in fact, trying to groom him to be exactly what Endeavor wanted. The only reason why Toya was born was the hopes that he would have a quirk that could make him surpass All Might. But it wasn't until Toya started to show the weaknesses of his quirk that Endeavor thought, you know what, it's not worth it. I'm going to have to try again at some later time. But we see that all this led to Toya pretty much wanting to kill Shoto. So, given that this is the start of the flashback of all the things that are happening, we get to find out how Toya died. I know for a fact we're going to do that because that's one thing they left out when they talked about him when we first got introduced to Shoto's family, and we're at their house with Midoriya and Bakugo and the rest of them. This storyline, hold on, let me get the title of it. The Wrong Way to Put Out a Fire, Part 1. So there's Part 2, which means that at some point we're going to see more about what happened to Toya and how he became the person he is, leading up to him becoming known as Dabi. And in the process, I'm really hoping that the Todoroki family will finally reconciles, and they all face Dabi and face Toya as a whole unit, not just one person going out to fight him, but they all resolve themselves to face their long-lost family member in this moment because they desperately need to get their family dynamic together. So I'm actually glad that we're taking this little side trip, this little detour here, focusing on the Todoroki family, because, I mean, it was going to have to be addressed at some point. It had to be. There's no way that Toya's going to bring out all this information, and then we don't find out more about it through flashbacks and histories of it. So I'm actually glad that we're diving into the history of the Todoroki family and how things came to where they are right now. So, yeah, I thought that was a good chapter. It didn't get me jumping out of my seat, but it was a very, very good chapter, an 8 out of 10 for me. So that's all I got to say about My Hero Academia. As a whole, I am actually glad that we are getting these little side stories from the main people we're always focusing on, like people in Class A or Midoriya or anyone else affiliated with him. I'm glad we're getting some other views in this whole story arc as well. Do you think Endeavor will say everything that Dabi said was true publicly? It's hard to say. It's hard to say if he'll go out of his way to... Because here's the thing. He spent his whole life trying to surpass All Might. When he failed to do that, knowing good and well that he would never be able to reach that pinnacle, he decided to try and create children who could eventually surpass All Might. And his manner and methods for doing so can be, in fact, seen as very, very cruel. And are, in fact, cruel. Not just seen as cruel, but are, in fact, cruel. Literally being a part of a quirk marriage for the specific purpose of producing an heir that could surpass someone that you yourself could not surpass. You're not getting married because you love her. Well, at first. You're not getting married because you've been with each other for a long time. It's an arranged marriage between two quirk users for the sole purpose of Endeavor producing an heir that can surpass All Might. So he was literally already starting out doing these things for all the wrong reasons. And the fact that he was never able to achieve what he sought after all this time. Because even though he's the number one superhero, that does not mean he surpassed All Might. Even All Might right now with absolutely no power and no abilities from One for All. People still see him as a symbol of peace. No one sees Endeavor as a symbol of peace. They know of his brash way of doing things, and he's done it that same way for countless years, that it's going to be ridiculously hard for anyone to see him otherwise. So, going through that, do I think Endeavor will say everything that Dabi said was true publicly? Possibly. Because Endeavor has reached a point where he's failed not only once, but twice to save his sons from harm's way. First time was Natsuo with that one villain outside of his house. Second time was when Toya was fighting Shoto and was just literally burning him. And each time, Endeavor was paralyzed. I wouldn't even be surprised if Endeavor says that he's not fit to be the number one superhero right now. Even though it would be nice for the Todoroki family to reconcile its differences and they all start to get along, I don't know if Endeavor sees himself as worthy of number one superhero. Especially now of all times, it's probably the last thing the civilians will probably want to hear. Especially with Yoroi Musha leaving as a hero and retiring, and then all these other heroes who have died and all other heroes trying to keep up, but then the public eye is making them all look bad. It's hard to say if Endeavor will try and still strive to keep his number one superhero position, because frankly, a lot of people are waiting on what he's going to do. Because in the last chapter, a ton of people are waiting out in the hospital, waiting for a statement from him, as if what he's going to say is just going to bring everyone at ease. I mean, especially now, I don't know what it's going to do for people's feelings towards heroes, but we'll have to see. But what I do know is this little segment of spending time with the Todoroki family, this is some much needed exposition, because I want to know how Toya became Dabi, how he got to the point where he is, and what led everything to a head, and how are things going to be resolved in the Todoroki family. So we're going to have to find out the next time in the next chapter next week. But that's all I got for My Hero Academia for you guys, ladies and gentlemen. I told you this was going to be shorter than my One Piece stream. All I know is I'm anxious to see just how much more in-depth with the Todoroki family we are going to go. So with that being said, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. I hope you all have a fantastic Valentine's Day. Relax, chill, enjoy yourselves, and remember, you are enough. And I love you guys. So once again, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you enjoyed what you saw here today, then consider subscribing, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later, peoples.